Hello students. Now we'll start reading the next page. Okay. Now till here we have gone through. We have learned that we are reading the story about a lost child. Okay, and he went to a fair, and when he was on the way, he was attracted by many things, and when he was in the fair, he was attracted by many things, and he kept on pestering his mother and father. Okay, and but he knew very well that his parents would not buy all the things. Okay, and the last video I have explained till here, where he just stopped in front of roundabout, and in a bold he made a bold request, and he said that he wanted a ride on the that roundabout. Okay, now we'll read further. There was no reply. He turned a look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. Okay, now here when he looked, means first of all he made a request that he wanted a ride. Okay, and when he found that there was no reply, no one was answering, then what did he do? He just turned behind. He just turned, but he found that there means his parents were not there. Okay, he just saw he means on the either side, both side, but his parents were not there. There was no sign of his parents. Okay, now imagine what would have happened with this little child. Okay, a full of deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Now, convulsed means shake uncontrollably, shudder. Okay. Now, panic stricken. What do you mean by panic stricken? Panic stricken means to be very frightened. Okay. He ran to one side from then to the other, hither and thither, in all the directions. Knowing not where to go, mother and father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untied and his clothes became muddy. Okay, now here we can see means this child, he was the grip of he is a grip of fear. Now here the boy, a full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body he ran. Means when he found that his parents were not there, he could not see them. Okay, he became he became patienceless. Okay, he could not. He was just wandering here and there. He was just searching for them here and there. Okay, and he started crying, mother, father. Okay, now tears rolled from his eyes, and now he was just searching them. He got frightened. Okay, and panic stricken. He ran to one side. He was just looking for them like a mad person. Okay, he was just searching them, mother, father, and wailing, crying. And in this situation, his yellow turban it came untied, and his clothes also become muddy. Okay, now, having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. Suppressed means forcefully put an end to, control. Okay, now what happened here? He just run here and there, okay, in search of his parents. His cries suppressed into sobs. Now what happened is starting sobbing. At little distance on the green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes men and women talking. Okay, now here in the green grass, he could see that some men and women, they were talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of the bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people. Okay, there was a hope in his heart, and he was just looking there in the hope that his mother and father must be there in the crowd. Okay, among these men and women, but his parents, means mother and father, they were not there in the crowd. who seem to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. And these men and women, they are busy in talking and laughing. But this boy, he was just searching for his parents and just crying and keep on crying. Okay, now let us see what happened there. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Okay, now after that, what happened? Now here, the boy, okay, he just went to a shrine, and there many people had gathered there. Every little inch of a space here was congested with men, but he ran to people's legs, his little sob lingering, mother, father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other, pushed each other. Heavy men with flashing, murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. Hefty means large, heavy. Okay, hefty shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He might have been trampled underfoot had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice. Father, mother! A man in the surging crowd heard his cry and, stooping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. Now you can imagine, means here this boy, okay, he was just searching his parents, and for that he went to a shrine, and many crowd was there, and the space was not enough, means the place, it was so congested that he could be crushed under the feet of these men and women. Okay, but still he went there. Okay, and he was about to crush, under the feet of this man or woman, but he cried in a highest pitch. Okay, father and mother. Thus, finally he was saved there. And then a man in the surging crowd heard his cry, and one gentleman, a kind man, he heard his cry. Okay, and stooping with great difficulty, as you can say, that place, it was congested, full of men and women. Okay, and they were jostling each other, they were pushing each other. Okay, but in between that crowd, a gentleman, a kind man was there. He just lifted that child, okay, in his arms, and then let us see. How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked. He strayed clear of the mass. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay, the strange man, he just lifted that boy in his arms, and he just he inquired about the child, that he wanted to know about his parents' name and all. Okay, and then that child, he cried more than ever. Okay, and said he wanted his mother and father. The man tried to soothe him, the man tried to calm him, okay, console him by taking him to roundabout. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay, now this time the man, he tried to console him, and he offered all the things those earlier, this initially, that boy, the child, he wanted to have. Okay, and now we will see that this man, he would also offer each and everything. Okay, now the man, he tried to calm him, and he said whether he wanted a ride on that roundabout. Okay, but the child, he shouted and said, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay, the man headed towards a place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swaying cobra. Listen to that nice music, child. Now here he went to that snake charmer, and he told him that would you like to listen this nice music, child? He pleaded, he requested, okay. But the child shut his ears, okay. He shut his ears because he didn't want to listen that, okay. With the fingers and shouted his double pitch scream, I want my mother, I want my father, okay. And he said that boy, he wanted his mother and father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Okay, and after that, he just went to the balloon seller. Okay, and he thought that man thought that these colorful balloons might be they might distract his attention. Okay, and thus he could be calmed, but it didn't happen so. Okay, would you like a rainbow colored balloon? He asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay, and this man, he offered him balloon also, but he sobbed and he said he wanted his mother and father. The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller said, look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put around your neck? Okay, and then he went to a garland flower seller, okay, and he offered a garland, and he told him whether he wanted to put around that garland around his neck or not. The child turned his nose away from the basket and narrated his sob. I want my mother, I want my father. But he turned his nose away from there and he again sobbed and said he wanted his mother and father. Thinking of humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweets shop. What sweets would you like, child? He asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay, and that man, he just took him to the sweetmeat seller and he offered him sweets, but the child, he just refused to have all the sweets, and he turned his face from the sweet shop and he just sobbed and sobbed, and he just told him that he wanted his mother and father. Okay, now as I have told you, this chapter, this is an open-ended story. Okay, now the conclusion part is not given there, and now being a reader, we have to think about the conclusion. Okay, what might have happened with the child, whether this child and the parents, they reunite with each other, or what would happen, okay, to that child. Okay, whether the strange man had taken that child to the police station, or just think about that. Okay, this it's on reader, that the reader has to think about the ending part. Fine, that's it. Okay.